video going to show you how to work in the round, and this is something, if you're following many of my patterns, you will need to know if you're making hats or cowls or infinity scarves or anything like that. And these types of needles, working in the round, circulars they're called, are brilliant, and you can get these ones that are interchangeable, so I can change the length of the wire that I want to use. So I can have a longer wire if I'm doing a really big project, a blanket or something like that, or I have this short one if I'm doing a hat. And you can change your size needles. They're really great, these types of needles. So you've cast on your stitches that you need. So you would have all of your stitches in a row here. You would count and split them, and move half of them onto the other needle, like this. So you have both sides of your needles facing, and you make sure that it hasn't twisted. You don't want to have, sort of any twists in there. Take your working yarn, and the needle that's closest, this one with the working yarn, is the needle that you start with, because you're joining this together, so you're working in the round. Now you need, what I would suggest actually, is to put some stitch markers on there so that you know where you are with the work, especially if you're doing a hat. I always like to know which end I'm working on. So I have a stitch marker on the front loop here, and I have a stitch marker on the back, sort of in the middle of there, so that when I get to wherever I'm going, I know which end I'm at. So then you pull this needle, the needle with the yarn, out of the wire, and you push it through the first loop on the second needle, and with your yarn you put it and you knit and you pull that tight. So there we've just joined those together, and you can continue to knit. So that's joining it in the round. Now you've joined that there. You can keep knitting around so that we get to the next part. So knit all of those stitches. On there. And then when you come to the break here, okay, we've got a knitted section there. We need to turn the work, and you pull that second needle through those stitches. And you have to be careful not to twist the work there, because you don't want to get muddled up, because if you twist it you have to pull it out and start again. So then you do the same thing, you pull that needle through, check that it hasn't twisted, that we're all right. Let me see. Oh, that should be going through there, that little tail. There we go. And then you start again. So then you start to knit this side. Pull tight so that you're not getting a gap in the side of the seam there. You want it all to be seamless, so you can't tell. And keep knitting across there. And then when you come to the end of that row, you just start again, and you keep knitting in the round and round until you get to your desired length of your hat or cowl or whatever you're making, and then follow the pattern for the decreases. Okay, so then we've come to the end, and you do the same thing again. You pull that needle through those stitches there, and you pull this needle out, and then you start again. And obviously you check that your work hasn't been twisted, which it hasn't, and then you start again. And you pull that first stitch quite tight, just so that you're not going to get like a lacy run through the hat. And you keep going. and you can see that the fabric is starting to grow there, and your hat or whatever you're making is starting to develop. So that is how you join and you start to knit in the round. Okay, so thanks for watching.